Man, that's such an existential question. Who are we?
Who
Yeah,
is Josiah? Let the world know.
honestly, man, I'm just a simple guy that deals with mental health struggles every day. And I deal with, like, I mean, to be fair, I deal with ADHD, OCD, bipolar depression,
Everything.
insomnia,
We're an
severe
alphabet.
social anxiety. Yeah.
That is us. Okay.
So yeah, yeah. So like, and I'm very blessed to have been stumbled on a platform where I can resonate with people around me and to the world, and for the past few years, and it's been really fucking great. And
No,
I'm really just stoked to be able to do what I do.
it's mind blowing because before I air this, I'm going to edit and show your videos, but you're cameo now. You're a
Totally.
cameo. Like, what the fuck? How cool is that? But I want to know, when did you make your very first video? But first of all, let me back up for a second. You are the bravest person I know because I just did an episode that for men, June is Mental Health Awareness Month. And it is,
Yes.
you are setting the bar and standard for a guy to say, it's okay not to be okay. We're all fucked up. Some of
Yep.
us just talk about it
100%.
more. And I, as a fan, would save your videos and send them to my daughter, to my friend, or to this one. And so the fact you're here is just remarkable. So how did it come about? What was your very first video and how did it happen?
So I actually remember it was early November of 2020. And I remember I was working in retail. I had been working in retail for like 10, 11 years at that time. And like I remember coming home to from my job late at night one night, and I had been on TikTok for a few weeks just doing, like, it was the time of the election, whatever,
Right.
and just doing silly videos that nobody really cared about. It was just silly stuff. And I remember coming home that night just so tired and so like unhappy and so just like whatever. And I saw a video of this girl that she did a song about retail, and just, begrudging and griping about like whatever it is about retail. I was like, oh, I resonate with that.
Right.
And I had always like, I've been in bands for ages, and so I'm a drummer and so by heart. And so,
Okay,
yeah.
so basically, I don't know why I'm having a blank about Rush right now because God,
Oh yeah, Neil Peart.
thank you, Neil Peart, thank you,
Yeah,
legend, obsessed.
totally.
Was he
Totally.
an inspiration for you? Because he's the best.
No, to be honest, no. Someone like Matt Greiner of August Burns Red. I listened to a lot of metal growing up, and and I still listen to metal. I mean, I love it.
Drummers
But I
are
mean,
the cutest, I have to say. Drummers are hot. I mean, a lot of chicks
yeah,
probably.
yeah, but like I mean, it's wild. But I had a lot of good times touring and playing with some of my heroes like Panic at the Disco and stuff like that. Like it was just amazing. I met
Wow.
Brendan, and like it was awesome. But yeah, like that was kind of like my past life doing music.
Right.
But I was always a lyricist. I'm a drummer, but like I always love writing lyrics. So that's kind of when I saw that video that night. I was like, hey, I can do that. So I wrote a song, just with a popular tune that was going around at that time. And, and then it hit, and that I just posted it, went to bed. The next morning it had like 7 million views. And I was like, what is this? I
Oh,
never had that before. And so then I
wow.
wrote another song and just kind of built on that since then over the past couple of years. And then I started talking about things that I actually cared about, like mental health and stuff like that.
I'm 54 and I wasn't diagnosed until I was 47. And I was like,
Mm.
with everything. I mean, I am an alphabet soup. It's like the game
You
Operation.
were not 54, by the way. That is not true.
I just turned 54, but I've also had a little help with some Botox and fillers and all that. But my trauma kept
You
me.
look amazing. You look
Oh,
amazing.
thank
Yes.
you. I think because my trauma left me stunted
Mm.
at 17. So I have a youthful everything and the thought of going old.
Totally.
I am a young at heart. So when I was,
Totally.
yeah, but it made sense when I was getting tested. Basically ADHD, OCD, depression, suicidal
Mm.
ideation, and it didn't change anything, but it made sense. And awareness is the key to recovery, which you are so aware. So now, if I get triggered in a movie theater, I'm not going to go to a movie theater. I used to just go batshit crazy and I never knew why. And my family would say, you're stupid, you're lazy. And so the awareness, but for a guy, one, you stay true to yourself. That's the name of my book. And I think that is the coolest thing on top of everything else you do. And being a man and doing it and giving your message the way you do, the universe had a whole different plan from you touring in your band to what you do now. Because my assistant Brie, her Aunt Gina was like, wait, I know that guy. I know him. I know him. Like, Rachel Platt, Debbie Downer follows you. Like, that must, like, do you ever stop and think, like, like, that is...
It's wild. Pink follows me and, like, a lot of different people. Like, I've met so many different people that, like Tay Diggs, he follows me. And, like, it's a bunch of people that are so great.
I just have to pause because you said Tay Diggs. When I was 25 and I saw Rent for the first time, changed my life.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
I mean, December, you rented? You will light my candle?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So you said Tay Diggs, but it basically, today, not worrying about tomorrow, what people think of you is none of your friggin' business. And it's so inspiring because nobody wants to talk about mental health. When I wrote my book, I had to say mental wellness because it offends people. It still offends people. I mean, it's crazy. And people are kind of...
that means you're doing something right.
I am ending the stigma one story at a time. And we're like the game Operation where, if you point out a spot, it's like, like I am like ADHD here. I have this. And people think it's a personal failure. I have to take medication. I go, why would anyone want to walk around all fucked in the head if you could take something and feel better? It makes no sense to me. And, how old were you? Young when you found out you had all of these disorders, or?
So it was actually so I grew up just a quick back. I grew up in a very religious home, and so it was kind of and different people have different experiences. Nothing against that, but it was very suppressed for me. So it was like don't talk about it. You're just sad. You'll get over it. That kind of thing. Growing up, so I left religion when I was 29, 30 years old. So I'm 35 now. 35. So it's only been about 5-6 years that I've come into this new life of mine. And that was around the time when I started having some physical manifestations of mental health that I went and got checked out. They're like, yo, you've got a slew of mental health things going on. And so I got diagnosed maybe around 30. And so, yeah, it's been about 5 years and it's just been a revelation, but it's also the most freeing and liberating thing I've ever felt in my life, just to talk about it.
When I made my first video, it was like January 2019. Because one lady looked at me, she goes, oh, you're all privileged and fancy. I go, I've been in a fetal position crying for the past month, so go fuck yourself. And that's when
100%.
And you don't know what anyone's going through. And most people are going through shit, some more severe than others. And so I made a video saying, I'm going through depression. I've had suicidal ideation and this, and people reached out and they were like, I'm not alone. Me too. No, me too. And then that video turned into another video, which turned into just Marni just being a mental health advocate, because when kids are born, they should learn ABCs, I love me, and always never grow up with any inferior feelings. And it starts with the parents and all the, if everyone could freeze right now, fix yourselves, fix your kids, stop the bullying. And I mean, it's what goes on.
Well, and it's to your point, it's really interesting. And, I love, I'm not a professional, but I love studying psychology and it's really interesting that kids and children, when they're born and when they're, growing through those very, intermittent years, they don't have prejudice. They don't have bias naturally. And so they're not bigoted. They're not, they don't have any, presumptions about anyone. They love anyone that loves them. And so we learn these prejudices and we learn these biases, that really taint and regress our species, you
It's
know?
horrible. Like my religion's love. I mean, I am spiritual. The
Totally.
universe is, people, religion. I read, I'm not going to get into it, but people say religion, you don't want to go to hell. Spiritual people have been to hell. And because I've been homeless and on my own since I'm 17. My mother left me on the highway on a crack. And I've been homeless with my daughter. So I've had a life that has but I'm here talking to you, which is the coolest friggin' thing ever. So all the
It's
bad
great
things
to
that
talk to you now.
happen, you inspire. And I just want to ask you, like, do you get a lot of emails telling people, saying to you, like, thank you for this, or my mom appreciated this? Like,
It keeps literally on an everyday basis. So I tell people now at this point, I have heard from just about, I would argue every country that has internet access on the planet I've heard from.
wow.
And like I'm telling you, I just hundreds and like every single day I hear from people. I get, messages that are like, hey, you helped me with this. Hey, you did this. Your video did that. You saved my life this way. And I'm just like, dude, I'm just some guy in California trying to scream into a screen and get my grievances out. And it's like, it keeps me going every single fucking day because
The authentic, and your
yeah,
authenticity. Go out and say, I'm going to do something. I want to be TikTok famous. You didn't do that.
no, I never wanted to do that. Yeah.
That's why you have been blessed in the way you have, because there is nothing like it. The world needs more of you. Because if I hear man up, or it's, what's wrong with you, or just go outside. Oh, okay. We never thought of that.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We never thought of that. Right. And to your point, the other thing is that it's kind of coming to an evolution of like, especially speaking to, so most of my audience and most of my platform, it's about 75% women, 25% men. But I really want to hone in on the men and talk to them as well, because like you said, like it's mental health is becoming a more normalized and destigmatized thing in the past like 10 years. But men's mental health is really stigmatized still.
And the
You know?
statistics for suicide are just off the charts for men, and they
So,
suffer in silence. And
yeah.
there's so many people. Is everything okay? I'm fine. And you suppress it, and it's like putting a ball under the water. And the minute you let go, and
Yep.
that's why I talk about mental health, honestly, like the weather. Like I'll say, I'm talking about right now, I think my social anxiety is kicking in. So what did you have for lunch?
Oh, me
So
too.
conversation.
Yep. Social anxiety like a mofo. Yeah, exactly.
So it's like I'm an extroverted introvert. Like when I have to be,
Yep.
I don't, and also I know
100%.
you don't do small talk with fake people. Like you are so real,
Yeah.
you feel energy in a second. And that's why we're such a different kind of breed. And I guess that's why we're
Are you sure? Are you sure we weren't separated at
I
birth? Because
know.
like everything, like
I know. I'm
let's ask my mom. Yeah.
That's another thing. The love, my mother basically left, not only did she go on crack once, but she did it, relapsed watching my daughter. And then she also told me to be a hooker and actually
Ooh.
work somewhere, and said, go do this. But when I see the love that you have for your mom, it's the sweetest thing. It really is, that you have that support system, because a lot of people
Definitely.
feel very alone. So blessings to your mom, props to her.
And it's even more of an example because her and I ideologically we couldn't be more different. But like she decided that a relationship with me is more important than any kind of ideology that we could ever have in this life. And I respect her more than anything for that. So she's one of my best friends. And I mean, people say like how they look at us and they're like, you guys don't agree on like anything. And I'm like, yeah, but we love each other, and that supersedes anything.
You're not
You
supposed to, you can disagree. I mean, we're supposed to disagree. We're have different
know,
brains,
100%.
so,
Do it respectfully, yeah.
right? And another thing, like your videos, what I love is that they're so to the point. You niche down on what, because I relate to every single one of them. If you have ADHD, I got this. If you're alone today, if you got
Totally.
all of them. And I just love the men factor that I love that you're doing. And there's a station, WFAN in New York. It's the sports station. And I was interviewed by a guy named Bob Salter, and he had been on the station since '94. And his very
Cool.
last episode ever, he replayed my interview. And I was like,
Nice.
fuck. So the dudes, you may not have the same story, and I may be sparkly, but the same feeling of depression, the same feeling of abandonment, whatever it may be, is there. And so
Right.
people start to say, wow, okay. Once they get past the sparkles in my nails and all that, they're like, wait, because I hate, don't judge a book by its freaking cover. That's just,
Oh,
the worst,
yeah,
worst.
totally.
And I'm just, this is Marni, this is me. And I just never thought I would ever talk about my private life or my mental health. And I literally want to shout it from the rooftops. It's okay.
Yep.
It'll be okay. And
Yes.
because you know what? It's contagious either way. When you're around healthy people in your family, it gives off those good energy vibes. And also in the reverse, when I was depressed and wouldn't leave and no one would understand the darkness. So it just opens up light, I guess, in the world. And
Right.
what you're doing is just, I love it. How many videos? I mean, how many followers do you have now?
Across all, well, I just on TikTok, actually today, I was celebrating in my live earlier, but we just went to 3.6 million, today on TikTok. And then on Instagram, in the next few days, I'll hit 1.6 million on Instagram.
Just
And I have like,
by being,
yeah, so like all across all platforms, I have over 6 million, but yeah, like it,
like, honestly, you're just this dude with hair. That's it.
yeah.
Do your little thing.
And do you know how I got the name Guy with the Hair? So when I was working in retail, people, when they didn't know my name, they would just, cause I'm 6'4", so I'm a tall
Oh my
guy.
God.
And like, yeah, so I'm a big guy, but like, people would always be like, oh, that guy with the hair, cause I wouldn't wear the beanie. I would have like an afro or whatever. And they'd be like, that one guy with the hair, whenever they want to talk about whatever. And so that happened for years. And so that was always like kind of my replacement name when someone didn't know my name. So when I went to make it a handle for like TikTok, I was like, why not just be Guy with the Hair? So I was like, that's it. That was literally it.
It's just I'm just obsessed when I watch people's destiny unfold when you don't realize you're living life moment by moment. And by being this authentic character and really not giving a fuck about anything what anybody says, and I can't see you getting much hate. I cannot see that at all. You must get.
At the beginning, I did. When I had my first TikTok account, I've had 2 TikTok accounts banned. This is my 3rd one, but I'm good now. Everything, I found my flow. Everything's good. But with the first one, I was doing a lot of divisive things. I didn't know what I had. I didn't know what I was doing,
Right.
and I just had a lot of followers really quickly, and it was like like I felt like I had to entertain them, and I felt like like let me dance,
Right.
let me do something. And I was doing a lot of political stuff, a lot of social things, which I cared about, but it caused a lot of divisiveness. And now I'm more on the case of like mental health and just, accepting people for who they are.
It's so needed. It is so needed. I tell people, just the judgy people, stop. You're not supposed to understand my world, and I'm not supposed to understand your world. Stop caring so much and just
Yeah.
be you. And
Yeah,
people are starting to come around, and I think
totally.
it's amazing. And I am so excited that, because I'm going to now get a cameo. I'm going to be your next, for somebody in mind that is a big fan of yours. So I cannot wait to send them a cameo of you. And
Don't just message me. Yeah, you don't have to go through that. Just message me. You're good.
and where can people
Yeah.
find you? Where can people
Uh,
find videos and
so yeah, anywhere, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Threads, whatever. It's Guy with the Hair. If you type in Guy with the Hair, it'll come up. There's a lot of imposters, but I mean, you'll find the one.
There's only one real one right here. That's it. There's just one authentic one. I just think you're absolutely amazing, and your bravery. And June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, so I will be shouting from the rooftops all the way here from Florida. Just thank
I'm going to be in Florida actually in July. I was telling someone earlier today, it was on my live. They're like, we're in Florida. I was like, I'm going to be in Miami in July. So maybe we can link up. That'd be great.
Oh my God.
Where are you?
Yes, you are getting live
Awesome.
interviews. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be there for a few days, but message me and we'll talk about it. But yeah, I'm going to be there for a few days.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm giving you a big hug virtually. And I
I
think,
love it.
oh, your energy keeps spreading it. We need more Josiahs in this world. And thank you so much, and have a fabulous weekend, and just keep doing your magic.
Of course. You as well, Marty. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much for
so
the
much. I'm
opportunity.
honored. Thank you.
Bye bye.